Chairperson, Governor, Governing Council, Shri Krishna Kulkarni ji, Director IIM Calcutta, Professor Alok Rai ji, Member Governing Council, Shri Ajay Jain ji, distinguished alumni, esteemed faculty, aspiring entrepreneurs, and the vibrant student community of IIM Calcutta. A very good morning to all of you. It is an immense pleasure and a privilege to stand before you today at the second National Conclave of Entrepreneurship hosted by the prestigious IIM Calcutta. This institution, the first National Institute of Postgraduate Studies and Research in Management, has shaped generations of leaders, thinkers, and innovators, many of whom have redefined India's entrepreneurial landscape. I am greatly grateful for your warm invitation and the opportunity to address the esteemed gathering of visionaries and dreamers. Today I stand before a community known for shaping some of the finest entrepreneurial minds in the country and beyond. IIM Calcutta has long held a distinguished place in India's academic landscape. But what truly sets it apart is its ability to nurture not just managers, but visionary leaders. Entrepreneurs who think boldly, act decisively, and lead responsibly. The emphasis this institute places on entrepreneurship, woven deeply into its curriculum, is equipping students not merely to adopt the change, but to drive it. The resounding success of your first entrepreneurial conclave last year and the energy surrounding this second edition are strong signals of your strong commitment to business management. Friends, the story of India is at its heart a story of entrepreneurship. From the ancient traders who navigated treacherous landscapes, establishing trade routes that spanned continents, to the artisans who crafted masterpieces that were coveted globally, the spirit of enterprise has always been woven into our ancient fabric. Entrepreneurship is not a new phenomenon. It is an intrinsic part of our heritage, a legacy of ingenuity and resilience passed down through generations. Our ancient texts did not just speak of dharma and philosophy. They also laid down principles of sound economics and trade. Chanakya's Arthashastra, for instance, describes everything from profit margin and quality control to incentives for artisans and traders, proving that the idea of entrepreneurship had deep roots in our civilization. When India gained independence in 1947, it inherited an economy marked by industrial backwardness, limited capital, and a largely agrarian base. Yet the spirit of entrepreneurship remained undeterred. In the decades that followed, Indian entrepreneurship gradually found its footing, accelerating remarkably in the 1990s by unleashing private initiative and innovation. In the 21st century, this journey has only deepened, powered by structural reforms, digital infrastructure, and a thriving startup ecosystem. From family-run businesses to tech unicorns, Indian entrepreneurs have reimagined possibilities and built global brands. Honorable Prime Minister, while addressing the heads of Indian missions abroad, said, and I quote, when he had the highest share in the global economy, one of the major reasons for our country was India's powerful trade and exports. We have had trade links and trade routes with almost every part of the world. In the post-COVID world, when there is an extensive debate on the global supply chain, we have to put all our efforts to take advantage of the new opportunities. Considering the size of our economy, our potential, our manufacturing and service industry base, this has the potential to grow tremendously. Unquote. Honorable Prime Minister's words remind us of India's historic legacy as a vibrant hub of global trade and its renewed potential in today's interconnected world. As nations reimagine supply chains in the post-COVID era, India stands at a pivotal juncture with its robust manufacturing capabilities, expanding service sector, deep pool of skilled talent, and a rapidly growing digital infrastructure. India is uniquely positioned to emerge as a key driver of global economic resurgence. By harnessing our strengths and building resilient trade networks, we are not just seeking to reclaim our past glory, but to lead the future of equitable and inclusive global growth. As we stand at the cusp of new era, the Government of India realizes the potential of the entrepreneurship engine as a key driver of economic growth, job creation and innovation. The government is committed to nurturing it through progressive policies, digital empowerment and a robust ecosystem for startups and MSMEs. The long-term vision is realizing the vision of or dream of Viksit Bharat by 2047. This ambitious blueprint seeks to foster inclusive economic growth, technological advancement, infrastructure development, and sustainability, while ensuring social empowerment for all. Entrepreneurship fueled by innovation and driven by the youth is at the heart of this vision. Now I am coming to what is the vision for New India and steps being taken to achieve this vision. The New India of today is setting its sights on ambitious yet achievable goals that reflect both our legacy and our aspirations. As a long-term goal, we aim to capture more than 10% of global merchandise trade, driven by the philosophy of Make for the World, a natural evolution of our Make in India mission. This vision is not just about numbers, it is about transforming the nature of our trade from volume driven to value driven, from raw material shipments to high quality finished goods, and from isolated production to vibrant networks of backward and forward linkages that power inclusive growth. Our approach to international trade, with a strong focus on free trade agreements and bilateral partnerships with complementary economies, not competing economies, is opening new doors for India to integrate deeply with global value chains and tap into newer, more diverse markets. To realize this vision, the government has laid out a comprehensive set of priorities. Foremost among them is promoting self-reliance through domestic value addition. Flagship initiatives like Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat have been pivotal to this journey by encouraging local manufacturing and fostering innovation and building capabilities that reduce import dependency and enhance export potential. A concentrated focus is also being placed on improving logistics infrastructure with initiatives aimed at reducing costs, enhancing logistic cost, enhancing connectivity, and ensuring last mile delivery efficiency. Between 2019 and 2024, India's logistic cost dropped from 14% to 8.5% of GDP, reflecting an ambitious national effort to enhance competitiveness. Looking ahead, by 2030, we expect to handle over $2 trillion worth of aggregated cargo through our seaports, airports, and island facilities. This scale demands world-class infrastructure and seamless trade facilitation. To this end, initiatives like PM Gati Shakti has brought unification in planning of the physical infrastructure. A connecting aspect for cross-border trade is faster clearances of EXIM trade. Here, Indian Customs is using artificial intelligence in risk management, non-intrusive inspection technologies to drastically reduce turnaround time. To make the domestic market more competitive. Now I'm coming to GST. The GST was introduced as one of the most transformative reforms in the history of indirect taxation in India, realizing the vision of one nation, one tax, one market. By subsuming multiple levies, each with its own multiplicity of rates, laws, and procedures, GST has dismantled economic barriers, reduced the cascading effect of taxes, lowering transaction costs, improving compliance, and enhancing transparency. At the same time, it is important to acknowledge that certain challenges remain even today, such as rate complexities, procedural requirements, and tax disputes. The government is actively working to address these issues so that from the perspective of an entrepreneur or startup, GST registration is simple, compliance is smooth, and the overall tax framework is stable and predictable. The objective is to ensure that businesses can focus their energies on innovation, growth, and value creation, rather than being weighed down by tax disputes or administrative hurdles. Coming to the service sector, it stands at a critical pillar of economic growth for India. In high-income economies, services contribute nearly 70% of the GDP in value-added terms. While in India, this share is around 50% in 2024. India has emerged as the 7th largest exporter of services globally, with its share in global services exports at 4.4%, far outpacing India's 1.8 share in merchandise exports. However, our services exports remain largely concentrated in IT and IT-enabled services, leaving considerable room for diversification. To truly position India as a global services hub, we must focus on both broadening and deepening our service offerings, venturing into new age sectors, moving up the value chain, and leveraging our demographic advantage. The government is actively working to create a conducive regulatory ecosystem and boost innovation, ensuring that the services sector continues to drive India's growth story. Our MSMEs, which are the backbone of the economy, are fast adapting to new ecosystems. A recent survey reveals that nearly 62% of India's small businesses now leverage e-commerce and digital channels to expand their reach. Yet, while the global e-commerce export market is poised to more than double to over $2 trillion by 2030, India's share remains modest. This untapped potential represents not just a gap, but a powerful opportunity to empower our MSMEs, eliminate unnecessarily intermediaries, and foster a more equitable business environment where even the smallest seller can dream of a global buyer. To tap the full potential of MSMEs, India will have to nurture a vibrant startup ecosystem where innovation, entrepreneurship, and technological disruptions are not only welcomed but actively pursued. The government's vision also includes becoming one of the top 5 global investment destinations by offering a stable, transparent, and opportunity-rich business environment. And at the heart of all these aspirations lies Brand India, a symbol of quality, reliability, and excellence. By placing a strong emphasis on quality assurance, adherence to global standards, and strategic international outreach, we can aim to strengthen India's global reputation as a reliable manufacturing hub, a competitive services provider, a center of academic excellence, and a preferred destination for investment. Research and development is a prerequisite for a long-term innovation. The need of the hour is increased spending on R&D and collaborative models involving academia, industry, and government. In this regard, the government is also catering to the financial needs for R&D. The Honorable Finance Minister, in a budget speech this year, has allocated 20,000 crore rupees for implementing private sector driven research, development, and innovation. Ensuring easy credit at competitive rates is key to fueling innovation and enhancing capacity. At the same time, proactive measures are being taken to attract FDI and opening up critical sectors. Together, these sectors are unlocking India's vast economic potential and positioning the country as a global engine of inclusive and sustainable growth. I must also lay emphasis on the transformative shifts in the current government's approach to a whole of government model and moving away from the archaic practice of working in silos. A shining example is the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan that integrates infrastructure projects across ministries. In the past, lack of coordination led to inefficiencies. Roads built by one department, as we keep on hearing, were dug by the another department, as there was no coordination between the various ministries. PM Gati Shakti addresses this by creating a centralized digital portal where all ministries can view and plan projects collaboratively. It covers roads, railways, airports, ports, waterways, and logistics, integrating schemes like Bharatmala, Sagarmala, and Udan. The collaborative approach exemplifies the government's positive mindset, ensuring that infrastructure development fuels entrepreneurial growth. In sum, our present efforts are not isolated steps, but coordinated strides towards a larger goal to make India not just a participant, but a global leader in the new era of trade. With a blend of technology, reform, and resilience, we are turning aspiration into action and potential into performance. Now I have come to the challenges on the way to realize this vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. In an increasingly protectionist global landscape, where traditional export markets are tightening access and recalibrating trade dynamics, Indian entrepreneurs must reorient their strategies to remain competitive and resilient. The focus should shift from volume-driven exports to value-added, differentiated products and services that can command a premium even in restricted markets. Diversifying export destinations, investing in quality and compliance standards, leveraging free trade agreements, and exploring niche markets or niche sectors like green energy, digital services, and healthcare can help mitigate the impact of external trade barriers by further opening doors in emerging and non-traditional markets. The rise of artificial intelligence presents both unprecedented opportunities and significant challenges for businesses. By 2030, AI is projected to contribute $967 billion to India's economy, constituting 10% of our GDP. Generative AI alone could add 359 to 438 billion by 2029-30. While artificial intelligence promise to unlock immense value for India's economy, they also present significant challenges for traditional businesses. Automation threatens to displace routine jobs and skills, while smaller firms risk being left behind due to widening digital divide. Established business models are being disrupted as AI-driven platforms bypass traditional intermediaries in sectors like finance, healthcare, and logistics. At the same time, growing reliance on data-driven and data exposes businesses to this risk of privacy, cybersecurity threats, and regulatory uncertainty. However, if AI systems are deployed without adequate safeguards, they can perpetuate bias and erode customer trust. The real test for India's traditional enterprises, therefore, lies in how effectively they can reskill their workforce, embrace innovation, and adopt their models to thrive in the rapidly evolving digital era. So what are the expectations from entrepreneurs who are catalysts to Viksit Bharat? You, the entrepreneurs, are the architects of India's economic future. Your ability to innovate, take risks, and create value is central to the vision of Viksit Bharat. The government has placed its trust in your spirit of enterprise to drive innovation and create jobs at scale. Through the Startup India initiative, over 1.25 lakh startups have already been recognized, generating more than 12 lakh jobs across the country. With a supportive ecosystem of funding, tax exemptions, and simplified compliance, the opportunity before you is immense. The challenge now is to channel this momentum into developing cutting-edge solutions in areas such as agri-tech, health tech, fintech, and edtech. Sectors that directly address India's unique developmental needs and hold the promise of transforming millions of lives. At the same time, the future will be shaped not just by individual brilliance, but also by collective effort. The government encourages entrepreneurs to collaborate across industries with academia and through public-private partnerships to scale ideas into market-ready solutions. The success of India's COVID-19 vaccines stands as a shining example of how research, innovation, and collaboration can converge to deliver results at the right time and at the right scale. By working together and harnessing the full strength of India's talent and ingenuity, entrepreneurs can ensure that India not only meets its domestic aspirations, but also emerges as a global hub of innovation and enterprise. With India's commitment of net zero by 2070, entrepreneurs must prioritize green technologies and sustainable practices. For too long, sustainability in investments have been viewed as a trade-off, something noble but costly. That mindset must change. Business leaders readily spend on IT systems, training, or infrastructure because these are seen as investments in productivity and growth. Yet, when it comes to investing in clean energy, gender equality, or equitable supply chains, hesitation creeps in. The truth is, these are not expenses to be endured. They are levers for long-term resilience, brand strength, and access to rapidly growing global markets. The companies that have embraced stakeholder value, not just shareholder value, are already outperforming their peers. That is not idealism, it is smart business. The way we measure success in business today hides the true cost of our decisions. We rely on resources provided by nature like clean air, water, fertile land, yet these benefits are treated as free and limitless. Pollution and climate impacts are often invisible in profit and loss statements, but society pays the price. The new age entrepreneurs must lead the change in correcting these market failures by internalizing externalities, pricing carbon, and advocating for policy framework that reward responsible behavior. Only when we reflect the true cost in our accounting will sustainable choices appear as rational as they truly are. Business leaders must update their investment frameworks to reward systemic value creation, redefine what return really means, not just in profit, but in the strength and sustainability of the ecosystem we operate in. In conclusion, I would like to take this opportunity to appeal to the students and alumni of this institution that the startup minds present here today, this is your moment. Embrace the transformative power of technologies, constantly upskill, remain curious, and think beyond conventional boundaries. Let the spirit of nation first guide your innovation, your enterprise, and your service. Your accomplishments across industries and continents make us proud. But your journey does not and with personal success. It expands into the ecosystems that you help build in. Continue to mentor, to invest, to share your hard-earned insights. You are the vital bridge between academia and industry needs, and your leadership can accelerate the translation of bold ideas into impactful ventures. Most importantly, I urge you to engage with the government to ensure that the policies are in tune with the evolving business environment. Let me leave you with a thought. In the world of entrepreneurship, 1 plus 1 does not mean 2, it makes 11. That is the power of collaboration, of synergy and shared vision. When brilliant minds come together, the outcome is exponential. Startups are not built alone. They are built through partnership, mentorship, and collective ambition. So big dream, work together, and remember, your individual spark can ignite a much larger fire when joined with others. Together, let us build an India that is innovative, inclusive, and sustainable, and an India that leads the world. Thank you, and I wish the conclave a very great success. Jai Hind.